be very easy to communicate and say, hey, these are no longer our Raptors. I can't move mid. You know, bot lane also has support roam timer.
You know what, Kobe? Sometimes you just gotta be willing to die for what you believe in, you know?
Yeah. And we have
junglers believe these Raptors are mine.
Yeah, we've seen junglers be willing to die over chickens and over crabs for sure. All right. Well,
gotta respect it.
Game number 2, it's a whole fresh chicken camp.
Yep.
That's what they say.
They're ready to die for it again.
Yeah.
Not giving up those Raptors.
New game, new Raptors, same me.
Same me, exactly.
All right. Orianna ban, gonna be consistent here. Until we get some changes to the champion, I think that is just going to stay that way. Most consistently banned champion that we have had.
Yep, waiting for the Karma ban, very likely. Jarvan, another champion that is banned quite a lot. The Sivir ban is interesting. I'm not sure exactly what that is signifying, but you know, Seraphine Ashe is, of course, up and available because it was phase 2 that Seraphine got banned out last time. So it's interesting to see that here being available in this second game. And I feel like with the 3 bans from FlyQuest, they may be the ones that want to go in towards this Ashe Seraphine.
I mean, I really like it. I super prefer it, especially when Caitlyn is already out of the game. Looks very good to me. Then I say, if they do an Ashe Seraphine, then my preferred counter with Caitlyn already being out would actually no longer be the Ezreal Karma and would be a Nautilus lane for kill lane. Ezreal
no pairing that with a Mundo.
But Ezreal Karma is also still good. Karma, of course, has been getting some nerfs, but most Karma players consider them fairly small and still kind of performs what you want to do with this champion. So the early Karma pick does definitely highly signal likelihood there for Ezreal Karma strategy into the Ashe Seraphine. And looks like they're happy to take the other side of it anyway.
Yeah, it looks like they will be going in towards it. Of course, if you think that there's a contested jungler here, like you could grab the Xin if you think that they're going to take Xin, because that's so commonly paired with the enchanters. Instead, they are going to select the Seraphine here. So I would not be surprised at all to just see Ezreal plus Xin now on the FlyQuest side. And I always find that interesting. You know, what do you think would be the thought process here for HamBak as far as like the matchup he would prefer? You know, if they are in fact going to give over
if they did Xin, I would go Trundle into it, because Trundle is very good 1v1 into Xin and can perform really well for team fights with Ashe Seraphine. And if you are a Trundle player with a hawk shot on your bottom lane, it feels so good because this champion is really good in dueling, especially a Xin that can't really get away from you. That would be my thought process, at least, if they did, you know, go for it.
I kind of like this because this is flexible, right? So they could go either way. So now you can't really just kind of hard assume where it is going to go. But that might mean that the, you know, Xin is going to go the other way. And then if you are worried about the Trundle, you obviously have protection bans in phase 2. So it is opening up that. I mean, I do think when you're playing with Seraphine, you want a bruiser who's going to run in to be able to bounce the Encore off of pretty much every single time. And I feel like whether that's Wukong or Xin or whoever, I do think that's something that they'd be looking for here.
Yeah, for sure. And then Renekton, in case the Ambessa is top, that's going to be a very good matchup.
No, it's not
for the Renekton. In case it was, you know, might want to rethink that. Still a possibility, of course. You know, some people just love playing Ambessa so much, anyways, that they're like, you know what, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, I'll still play it into it, but the likelihood of the jungle Ambessa went way up with the Renekton pick, which Renekton is also universally fairly good for blind pick when you have protection bans after the 3rd pick here, like they're doing right now, the Gnar, one of those. So you pick it and then you double protection ban here. You know, other answers are like Jax and stuff like that.
Even Sion, I quite like Sion into it, even though you're losing early. I just don't really think it matters.
Yeah, my only danger, like, I still think the Trundle would be a good, you know, possibility if they then tried to do Sion into Renekton, and then you have like a you know, team counter. But it's definitely is another viable, good viable pick into it. And Renekton, you're talking about bruisers with the Ashe Seraphine, serves that, doesn't have to just be the jungler, top laner as well here too. So the Annie, they don't want the explosive engage to really set up. You know, Annie and Ambessa is very, very dangerous as far as the super quick engage, and they don't want, you know, Ashe or Seraphine getting blasted super early on, and that's definitely a combo that could do it.
I mean, I think it's really smart because when you're thinking about FlyQuest, it's like, all right, well, when you think about the best engagers from top lane, it's already Ornn, and Ornn's already gone, right? So you're thinking about these kind of picks that are going to give you some sort of snap engage, because right now, FlyQuest doesn't really have any engage. Sure, you can start a fight with public execution, but without setup, you're not even guaranteed to hit that, and it's not that reliable as a go button.
Also, if you're thinking about the actual players too, Annie is the only like real mid lane engager that Quad plays. Most of Quad's other full champion pool is way more, control mages, way safer, much more range stuff, regular like farming Victor style stuff. And so Annie is kind of the explosive engage champ that he has put time in on. And take that away. So really beefy, 5-on-5 being set up here for Sentinels. They get their Sejuani and Renekton synergy. Ain't no way you're playing Ambessa top into a Renekton and a Sejuani. Like, that is crazy. You lose the 2v2 also, no matter what. No matter what jungler you pick. So I'm going to say that is 100% now a Gryffin Ambessa. And they're going to go with the Jayce into the Renekton. Okay. Gakgos Jayce, definitely a lot of confidence there. If the Renekton and Sejuani, though, if they get a good gank off on that Jayce, it can get, it can get painful. You have to be really, really protective of your flash and have to put in some good jungle tracking and warding here.
I'm really struggling to think of a fifth pick from FlyQuest that will make me like their draft. I mean, they have good poke, they have good kite, but I do think if they do not really do well early, it's going to be so hard. There's a lot of ways for Sentinels to start fights. Whether it is an Ashe arrow or an Encore, or Renekton flank, a Sejuani ult, there's so many good tools there. And Mel is going to be the answer into the Aurora. And FlyQuest basically have no way to start a fight besides just kind of running at you. It's got to be poke and maybe like an Aurora flank, but they're just so light on engage, and I don't even necessarily think they're guaranteed to win in the side lanes where you would want to, right? Because Sejuani Renekton is such a powerful 2v2, and Ashe plus the Seraphine are really powerful 2v2 as well. Of course, that bot lane can go either way, but if their bot lane doesn't win, I'm very worried for them.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, I always really like the super strong teamfight comps.
Yeah.
Just regardless, but especially with these actual players too. I believe this is Quad's first Aurora game. We were talking about, I was like, oh, Annie's the only like real explosive
first this year for sure
engaged champ that he has played, and I'm looking at his career long actually
first career
play game.
Well.
So it Annie's the only one that he has put previous time into. People, of course, always can practice new stuff and definitely can bring it out on stage, but it does make you a little hesitant to have a lot of faith in it. And so Quad career first Aurora here into a very strong teamfight comp from Sentinels.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Lanes feeling very important for FlyQuest in this one. If they can't get some early advantages, I do worry that it could just be a very quick 2-0. And Sentinels, they've got a lot of power in the early game. They've got great team fight, great scaling, so many ways to actually pick fights and engage that don't even have to be a lot of commitment, right? You can just throw an Ashe arrow out, throw a Glacial Prison out, and look to start a fight in that way. So pressure, I think, on Gakgos as well as Massu and Cryogen to try to create some isolated advantages and to try to avoid the ganks that HamBak will be looking for, because he was fantastic finding those in the Skarner game one.
I will say, though, the Ezreal Karma, they should still, have some advantage here into the Ashe Seraphine despite the nerfs. So the last two patches, we had Karma nerfs of, first one was nerf to the shield, the upgraded shield, which is, much more relevant for later on rather than in lane phase. But then the most recent one was the base attack damage down by 2 and the growth, as well as the mana cost nerf. So we'll see if the mana actually is anything real, or if like the 2 base attack damage ends up adding up from all the trading. But they should still be able to accomplish the same goal of the Ezreal Karma, get the poke, get the push, you know, try and have it, you know, push on bottom side and then poke them while they're trying to CS.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ezreal Karma can be a really strong lane, but we know it's literally hit or miss, right? You know, you hit all your skill shots,
yeah, don't miss,
and you are looking powerful. You miss a few in a row, and the trades start to go bad, and you can get punished so heavily, you know, on a bad trade from Ashe and Seraphine because their chase down is so powerful, right? The amount of slows they have can be very difficult to deal with. Massu and Cryogen definitely started the split very hot. You know, were incredible, I felt like, against TL last week. You know, more up or down, definitely not as dominant as people were kind of expecting in their 2v2s, even though they won the series pretty hard. And then here, you know, we come into that last game, and of course it was, you know, not just an isolated 2v2 thing. It was a lot about HamBak, but they again got put down pretty far compared to where Rahel and huhi were.
Yep. Rahel, huhi having a pretty good game, series for themselves so far, similar for HamBak. And both junglers are progressing towards the bottom side. Top-down clears again, second game in a row, same thing. Heal does go out here. So we have both heals and an extra summoner spell for Rahel with the barrier being blown. 2-for-1 bonus trade here for FlyQuest. So everything going according to plan. Karma with the -2 AD doesn't really care, seems like. Again, if you miss your skill shots, then you're going to want that 2 extra AD bro, and make up with auto attacks, but they don't really care. They're still accomplishing their goals here. Push in, force the recall, and it's a pretty heavy CS deficit at the moment. Rahel is heading back to lane right now and should be able to you know, make up some of the deficit, but no barrier as well if they do get some jungle action down there. HamBak on the cruise, though, you know, went back for the topside crab to be able to trade with Gryffin. Takes him a bit of extra time, and still going to be able to get off on a pretty easy recall here.
Massu getting pretty aggressive. Shifts in, forces the flash there from Rahel. And they're going to flash in for the tether. It's going to land onto huhi. Don't think they'll have the damage to kill. But Rahel and huhi going to be sent back to base again. And Massu still hasn't even based yet. The bot lane going amazing for FlyQuest in the 2v2. But I wanted to take a moment to talk about Impact, who is holding up well so far on that top side in the top lane. Has been having a pretty darn rough split. You know, this is his laning stats. 8 out of 8 as far as gold difference at 14. He got kind of blasted in a couple of his series, but he was going up against Castle and Thanatos, 2 of the best laners in the league. And he did well in game 1 in the Rumble, created a nice little gold advantage for himself. Team fought well. And here in the second game, of course, it is early minutes, but is holding on very well against the Jayce of Gakgos again. So Impact, you know, getting back to what we expect from him, which is that really super solid top lane play.
Yeah, and to me too, it's like a lot of the plays that contributed to the gold difference were the reason to be worried for Impact. Not, top lane itself, if you're like just the stats, sometimes top lane is one of the most heavily influenced by lane matchups, and like, okay, you're always taking, you know, losing matchup, play for team, you know, style matchups, then yeah, okay, you're gonna have a lot of losing, you know, CS deficits and stuff. But some of the things were like lazy recalls or, you know, getting outplayed. And HamBak up here with the Sejuani.
Yeah, Gakgos just jumped in, and he is gonna regret that. HamBak was waiting for him. Easy bait there by Impact. Gets the first blood for HamBak.
He's looking good. Old man out here knows how to call jungle at a good time.
Help.
Honestly, though, you're always expecting Sejuani Renekton synergy whenever these two are on the you know, same team. But I mean, that is a very, very, very efficient and effective lane gank there for HamBak. Like, wastes 0 time at all. Instantly gets the kill for the top lane. They don't have to use flashes, but, you know, Gakgos doesn't decide to use, you know, waste his after the jump in, but it's perfect timing. You come up through the lane, Impact has his stun ready for Gakgos, low health, like perfectly baited, man. Nice acting there for Impact, and good timing for HamBak. It was just 6. There's a cleanse on Ezreal, so he's looking right now. Maybe they want to get past Ezreal onto the Karma. Karma has no flash. Ezreal's standing in the way here with cleanse and flash. Ah, yeah. You really want the Karma there? Because that's like a guaranteed kill with no flash and the no cleanse.
And they didn't have eyes on Gryffin for a long time, so maybe they were nervous about a potential 3v3. You know, if you go for Massu, and even if you just get the cleanse, it's not bad, right? Like, if you're actually, you know, looking for that, you can relieve some pressure on the bot side. But if Gryffin's behind, then you might be destroyed in the 3v3. So it was a little bit nerve-wracking for them. They had a ward on enemy Raptors, but they hadn't seen Gryffin on that, so I think that was maybe making HamBak a bit hesitant. And so Massu and Cryogen will continue to enjoy their freedom on that bot side and keep that pressure going up. 22 CS now in that 2v2. No kills to their name, but still looking very good.
Yeah, they still have the flash advantage down there. Rahel's barrier has come back off cooldown from the early usage, but yeah, still a very nice, healthy advantage and lead for the Karma Ezreal. Undeterred by the small nerfs. Interesting show here from Gryffin to cross for Raptors. He's got the mid lane push, so Ambessa can annihilate these things so quickly. All you need is the early cross, and he immediately annihilates it, regardless if you know, there's not even any time for like a Seraphine to roam up there and contest or anything.
Yeah, it was interesting because huhi immediately started walking. He started walking from bot lane right away, and then, as you say, they just killed it too fast, but it was kind of reminding me of last game on that Bard roam. Was able to get it up there, but this time Gryffin kills it off no problem, had mid prio, and Cryogen is behind quad. As Gryffin just continues power farming away, HamBak, of course, still does have that gold advantage, but it's not much of one considering the fact that he did get that first blood gold.
Seraphine helping out with the push here to get the early move for DARKWINGS in mid lane. Sentinels see what they can do with any sort of extra mid vision control here. huhi doing his best to clear it out. The double defensive pink wards here for them to fully clear any sort of vision. Again, when your Ashe and Seraphine both hit level 6, this is such a tremendous amount of CC with that plus Sejuani. You have to be very, very careful about the engage from Sentinels and handling this moment in time for FlyQuest. How they handle this is going to be critical. So if they are going to pull the dragon.
There's the early dominance popped here from Impact. We'll get him a pretty nice trade onto Gakgos, but of course, now you're going to have to be worried about a potential dive. Griffin's on the other side, though, doing the dragon.
Yeah, and with the trade for these grubs, looks like it's just going to be the 2 for HamBak. Wants to get back out to the other side immediately after, and teleport return for Gakgos. Just go back to base and invest the teleport timer here instead.
This little shock blast was trying to keep the trading up. The tether won't quite land there from Cryogen over onto Rahel. But they do get the flash out of Cryogen as HamBak was seen on that ward, blast coning over. He knew he was going to be in the area, and now Quad going to go between worlds here, trying to get the damage down onto DARKWINGS. Definitely will not be able to finish him off, but the weirding does connect, and he gets a good trade.
That ward is so good. That ward over the back of the Dragon Pit. I think it was Cryogen himself that put it, that we saw him when he was clearing out enemy vision in Dragon Pit, and then he put that one too. Because this...
Oh, flash forward, he gets him with the final auto, goes across the veil, and dodges out from the glacial prison. Quad, in his career first game on the Aurora, gets a solo on DARKWINGS.
Clean right there. Gets the summoner spell as well too. The flash and the death. Here we go on top side.
Gryffin probably went too far here. He's trying to stay around. They do get the camp. Impact is running back to the tower. Seraphine is coming up here. Quad is on the roam. Gakgos is going to have to flash the wall. Will do so. And does get out at the end of the day. But Gryffin overstaying perhaps as huhi trying to walk back towards mid and thinks better of it.
Oh man, explosive mid game here. FlyQuest making good defensive plays and offensive plays in quick succession to earn themselves this gold lead. See how they can keep this one up. Again, Sentinels comp is really at its best when it's nice and balled up here. Really big team fighting, beefy front line with Ashe Seraphine bouncing over the top, but FlyQuest can shine now. And he hits the pullback after the flash. Flashes in for the auto, and then he still had the pullback damage too. So he gets DARKWINGS flash, 1-for-1, and gets the kill. Beautiful stuff. Yep. And HamBak ultimate there. You know, Sejuani ult at the end was used also to try and punish, but couldn't quite do it.
Ashe Arrow is going to nail Gakgos. They saw that going through mid lane, through the top lane. Gakgos, I guess, just didn't see it. Gryffin is up here, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get out. Knocks him back, slice, dice forward. Can't quite catch back up to Gakgos. That has got to be so frustrating for him, but in comes HamBak trying to help turn it around. Gryffin finishes him off, though, and HamBak is not going to be able to win the 1v2. Will be able to push them back, but damn, that's frustrating for Impact. I thought he was going to have Gakgos in that 1v2.
Yeah, I wanted to use the slice and dice there on trade too. I was thinking, might want to use that defensively to get out, but he really wanted to make good on the kill off of the Ashe Arrow. But after he uses his slice and dice, he's for sure toast, even with HamBak coming up there. So another kill for FlyQuest. They're building on this lead. I mean, this is good for fans that do want the third game here. FlyQuest looking much better with the early lead and going in on DARKWINGS again. He can pull back.
Yep. Nice pullback, easy kill. It's another. We're not going to call it a solo because he got a shield, but basically it was as he just gets out the reflect from DARKWINGS on an early trade, and he knows, you know what, I can just send it. Even if I don't kill you here, you're going to be so low that you have to base.
Yep, nicely done from Quad again. First Aurora game of his career. Looking good.
We'll give him 1.5 solo kills.
Okay.
I think we can compromise.
You only get a half for that?
I mean, the Karma Shield, it's technically not one, but I mean, we got to give him something, right?
1.8?
1.8?
1.9?
I could be convinced. Yeah.
Let's up the percentages here a little bit.
Karma deserves what percentage of that kill?
Yeah.
Like 3% maybe? You know? Hey, I was there too.
Honestly, you know, getting the extra assists money is just like more money for the team, you know, out of the air. So
they'll take it.
Beautiful, beautiful shield right there.
Gorgeous shield. And really made the play.
That's with the nerfs to the Karma shield. Holy
God,
crazy stuff there. He invested extra mana to do that.
Yeah, even with the AD nerf for Karma, still able to take down the enemy mid laner.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Incredible, incredible stuff.
Handling those patch changes.
Like a champ. All right, well, now it's a 2.4K gold lead here for FlyQuest. Hasn't been that many kills, but it's a bigger gold lead for Massu with no kills than it is for the two pretty much solo kills there for Quad, because they have been hammering the bot lane in the 2v2, farming plates and building a big CS advantage.
You think Quad is thinking right now, I could solo kill this guy too, I bet.
I'll do it again.
Massu's like, you know what? Let me try my hand at it. I got a Trinity Force. See if I can land some poke on this guy.
Yeah.
How long on his flash? Let me see. I want to do it too.
Yeah, maybe he needs a rocket belt of his own. You know, get in there. Maybe that's the key.
Yeah, get in there. Maybe DARKWINGS needs one to get out of there.
Yep. Everybody needs one these days. And Cryogen has a McHale's. Definitely an obvious rush this game when you're playing at Ashe, Sejuani, as well as Seraphine, as well as the Renekton stun. It's pretty much guaranteed you're going to get some good value.
Yeah. Honestly, my question right now too is, are we convinced? Because we're like, oh, FlyQuest, they got to get some, good early leads. The Sentinels team fighting, the synergy between these champs is going to be really annoying when they group up, when they get their full 5-on-5 front to back. Currently, I am actually convinced. I think that FlyQuest have done enough so far to get a really good early lead onto Aurora. Burst damage is critical. You want to be able to burst down Ashe or Seraphine. If you can take those out early on in the fight, you take so much, of the synergy down. And that with Ambessa also getting a kill, those are two really big weapons to kill them. So this makes it a very exciting game for me, because it's not just going to be like, oh, dang, this Sentinels team, like with an early lead, gets to just group up at dragon after dragon team fight. No, FlyQuest have done a very good job getting their early lead on some of these carry champs.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, they've set themselves up in a good position here. But we have to remember, it was huhi we got to hear the listen in on when they were in a much worse spot. And this was him, moments before they actually lost. He said, in the end, it's going to come down to just one fight. They found that fight. They came back in that game. And we'll see if they can do that here once again as Gryffin missed on the ulti. They're going to go in, though. Rahel in trouble already. Quad flashes forward. Ezreal is pumping out the damage. Gakgos has got to try to get involved. The two-man charm is going to mean Gryffin falls into shutdown there for DARKWINGS. Gakgos flashing forward. DARKWINGS flashing out. HamBak is low, as is DARKWINGS. The poke landing here from FlyQuest, but they can't lock down any more members to get some more kills.
Yeah, you can kind of see it already. So part 1 was good. FlyQuest, though.
Quad could be in some trouble here. Is going to pop the weirding, goes across the veil, kiting back. Gakgos arrives. huhi here to try to shield up and protect the team. Sentinels, at the end of the day, kind of coming out on top as far as the health is concerned. And the Herald went to Sentinels as well.
Yeah, getting the objective here. That's going to be some, guaranteed turret plate money for them later somewhere. But they do exactly, FlyQuest are going to assassinate Rahel. Eyeballs on Rahel here. This Ashe in the middle is trying to volley. Boom. Gryffin goes in on him. Aurora goes in on him. They get the burst damage. So they do take out one of the squishies. It's the exit afterwards. You still see the power of the Seraphine here. huhi able to follow up there. Got a good ultimate through on them. And then they heal and shield.
Not bad. They use TP too.
Exactly. They used TP and got the Herald and get the 1-for-1 still. And it's still pretty early on in the game.
Gakgos could be in some trouble here. The Herald going to get dropped. HamBak and huhi are behind him. Cryogen is moving down. We'll see if they can actually defend this in the 2v3, if he'll be here in time. It's going to be started off there by HamBak, but he's just going to run for the hills. Pops the Ghost Blade as the TP's coming in from Impact. So they are going to lose this tower. It should be first tower there for Sentinels, unless Quad is about to kill the top lane one, but that's going to be a nice little injection of gold.
Interesting that they're going to give up 2 lanes to do this, though, mid lane and top lane. So it's going to, both of those are actually going to fully go down. Top lane, I'd say, I mean, Quad is quite dangerous, so Impact, even if he had stayed up there, wouldn't be able to save that tower or anything. But investing that,
watched it.
Yeah, investing. He could have watched it happen in person. Be the
reporter,
in-field reporter.
Yeah,
but
dangerous job.
Instead, though, now you're at a TP deficit for the matchup with Jayce. DARKWINGS, on the other hand, has his TP back now, so they can have the Mel instead kind of catch waves on the side and offer that teleport assistance.
Yep, so he's going to be able to try to answer there. FlyQuest, though, just want to continue stacking dragons. As long as they're in control of the dragons, they are going to be able to make Sentinels come to them. And that is where, the lack of engage is not really going to matter if they force their way in. But remember, the LCS Spring Finals are going to be taking place in Mullet Arena at ASU from June 13th to 14th. The tickets are available now. There's the QR code right on your screen. Scan it up, grab your tickets, and we will see you there. Spoilers, we're going to be there.
Woo! Azael, going to be there in person, live, reporting?
Yep. Be front row cheering you on.
I do, yeah. That's going to be me. All right. Honestly, with Dragon only 18 seconds away, I thought the investment would be a little bit heavier here in trying to get the vision or the priority down, but looks like FlyQuest are going to have full control of the setup. So they've got full vision control. Maybe it's an angle of, you know what? Let's just save most of these resources. Well, teleport invested here for Gakgos. Interesting bot side flank from Impact too. Renekton walking up, just to watch here as well. HamBak does have the ultimate.
Yeah, Gakgos is down there with him. HamBak, though, pushing forward onto Massu. Cryogen looking for the tether onto HamBak. There's a battle on the side. Quad going to go forward across the world here, trying to get the damage down to the back line. Not going to be able to find too much, though, as Gryffin gets in on the back line, and huhi just gets shredded. Quad onto Rahel, and Rahel is gone. With the Ashe falling, the Seraphine falling, FlyQuest grab the dragon, and they got their eyes on the Baron. They're clicking all in, pinging over there. Are they going to try to do it on spawn?
That was one of the most awkward contests I've seen in a long time. Sentinels were late to it. Then they have the front line on the bottom side, then the Sejuani in the middle there, and FlyQuest just dissect them. Beautiful stuff. They are starting that Baron. They're going to try and burn it down. Renekton can't come. No teleport.
Yeah, both the soul laners are not moving, so they're just going to have to give this up. We'll see if HamBak wants to just try to get in there and trade his life for it. DARKWINGS has now moved over. huhi is coming now, but it's down to 4K. Gakgos is on the side trying to threaten them. They get vision on it with the hawkshot, but HamBak just cannot get in. The Encore is going to whiff. The Baron is going to be secured, and FlyQuest, maybe they want to fight now. HamBak going to try to jump over the wall. Quad looking with the weirding, cannot connect. They do get a bounty on the bot side with that tier 2 tower being taken there by Impact to get some gold back in their pockets, but FlyQuest with a huge series of plays.
Yeah, I mean, props to Gryffin for continually assassinating one of these squishies. But I also think we saw some poor setup from Sentinels as Impact going to be able to slice and dice, gain some distance.
Yep, for now, getting back. He did spend his flash. He has the dominance in a couple seconds. Should not die there. Gryffin covering quad. They're going to TP in. Griffin's going to go for the fight, but he's getting CC'd up heavily here. They're turning around onto Gryffin. Can they finish off the kill? They can. Impact arrives on the teleport. Quad is in trouble. Pops a weirding, trying to kite it out, but can't do it. A couple of big kills there for Sentinels on the top side, and they should be able to grab this tower as well.
I actually love that. They don't want to let FlyQuest just push all lanes with Baron buff, so they fully commit. Overload top side, send all 5 people. Our greatest strength is the synergy with full 5, and they just fully attack a side lane here. You're still going to take losses from the Baron-empowered sieges of the other lanes, but that is going to give you a lot back, even a full negative Baron power play here. So a good amount of gold recouped by Sentinels with a smart call to fully overload the top side. All 5 people go. Look how many wards all sprinkled around up there, and getting a bunch of gold back here into this massive synergy of team fighting for this squad. If they're here on time and they set up their battle lines for the Dragon Soul fight, it's going to look real good. So Gryffin does go in again on one of the squishies, but all of Sentinels arrive here. The teleports come in, and everybody's able to complete the extra kill plus the tower after. So huge shutdown money going through, money off the tower as well. And that's going to fund a lot of these item completions for Sentinels. See everybody basically with at least 2 items for themselves.
And holy, the Baron power play, negative 1,500, and is now
even
just
worse,
hovering around that 2K advantage for Fly. But at 22 minutes, that's not really that big of a deal. We were at a bigger gold lead like 15 minutes ago.
And especially, you know, right before the next, the Dragon for the Dragon Soul here, 1.5 minutes, you're already thinking about the setup over there. And now it's, you know, almost even 3 items for DARKWINGS. With the Shadow Flame almost going to be completed for the Mel too. So they certainly have plenty of fighting capabilities here. You group up, you've got Sejuani ult, Ashe arrow, Seraphine ult. It's definitely going to take some good positioning from FlyQuest and some good skill shots hitting as well. They got to make some Jayce and Ezreal poke count for sure. It's just so hard because you try and go for your poke, the engage is just so easy. Ashe arrow, Sejuani ult, Seraphine ult, so you have to be very good at hitting your poke and dodging.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to control that space, you know, make it difficult. Try to soften up HamBak and Impact. They're going to be the ones walking in first, you know, with the rest of the team behind them. And if you can get them low enough on the entrance that, hey, maybe you can dissuade them for looking for that engage. But it's like you said, they are quite strong. DARKWINGS for sure is going to have gold for his 3rd item. You'd have to think before this dragon spawns, but maybe not at this point. Is not going to complete that Shadow Flame, I guess, because it's only 20 seconds until it spawns. They can't go back now. FlyQuest are in the area here. Both teams sending all 5, of course, for this fight that they know may decide. If Sentinels wins this fight, they're going to be in a pretty good spot. Quad has not yet spotted HamBak, and he is looking on the side here. A little bit of poke coming out there from DARKWINGS as Massu is trying to fight and get this damage down on the HamBak, who's just sidestepping everything.
Yep. They've got a good setup this time around. Good front line here, pushing bot wave. Gryffin gonna start some damage on this dragon though.
Yeah, well, I don't think we've seen a single Mystic Shot connect, and now Massu taking quite a bit of damage there. And Impact is gonna be spotted by Quad. They're gonna try to get in. It's gonna be a flip potentially here. The Mikhails is used, and it's taken away by HamBak. Massu is put low. FlyQuest can't win the fight, and HamBak takes the steal.
I like how they just back off afterwards too. They're like, that's all we needed. We just need to deny this soul. Now we can regroup, set up again for our fight. We already invested our Sejuani, Ashe, and Seraphine ults. No need to do anything further here, so Sentinels accomplished their goal. Man, all right, let's take a look at this. Is it just straight up pretty even? Yeah, I mean, not like you got a lot of burst on Sejuani or anything. That's just good smiting right there.
Yep.
Good, clean smiting.
I mean, they both use smite. I saw it at 2,500 or so, and then it was dead.
Yeah.
So that thing just got deleted. They both pressed smite, and HamBak, I guess, pressed it second. He does end up getting it. Serpent's Fang completed now for Gryffin. Also got to say, I mean, FlyQuest just couldn't hit any poke as they were walking in. Massu, it felt like, missed about 10 mystic shots in a row. Didn't feel like Gakgos was able to hit any shock blasts. Quad was kind of zoned out by impact the whole time. So Sentinels handled it really, really nicely.
Yeah, and then if you do, it's like, oh, Mel probably has reflects. Seraphine's got shields for people. It's going to start to get rough for them. You got to get real creative in how you approach these fights, and maybe FlyQuest can hope for another fight like they saw at the third Dragon, where it was like a weird setup from Sentinels where they had their front line kind of split from two sides, and then Sentinels were probably also trying to think too much about the steal instead of position there for like Rahel and huhi. But I don't necessarily think we're going to see more fights where either Ashe or Seraphine does get blown up. We've seen a few of those this game. You know, Quad had good burst damage early, and Gryffin had some good ults onto them. But it gets more and more difficult to pull that off later into the game with the battle lines pretty easily set up, and then the protection here for Sentinels. So Sentinels stabilizing in this game and really threatening the 2-0, I think. Even though they're still down in gold, and they're still significantly down in dragons, which could lead to another Dragon Soul fight in almost 3 minutes.
You see how nervous they got there from Gryffin, because once Rahel was hugging the wall, he knew he wouldn't be able to dodge the public execution, so huhi popped his heal to give him more move speed, even though he's at full health and the engage hadn't come.
Yep.
So they were definitely sweating that engage could be coming through, and now HamBak maybe going to look for one of his own. Man, these sidesteps from HamBak are ridiculous. He's just not letting Massu hit him with anything.
Gryffin also has the Serpent's Fang here to cut through shields, to reduce the effectiveness of the Seraphine shields. Maybe it's going to help. Some poke lands now.
Jayce is bot lane, so Sentinels have to decide, do we go for a hard engage or do we send someone to respond as Quad taking a little bit of poke? Now, Gakgos is going to be the one calling off. He will be looking for the base as Quad trying to get around on the side. The Reflect going to be used here by DARKWINGS, so he will be much more vulnerable now, and FlyQuest do get some control here around that topside Baron.
All right. Retaining mid-wave control, retaining vision control over Baron. But at the very least there for Sentinels, Impact is able to spend his time bottom, and the rest of the team doesn't get caught. That was a little dangerous period there where they're like, okay, Impact, got to go take care of the wave on bottom side, and the rest of the team has to play a little defensively and deny the engage again.
Did you like the call from Gakgos to base there? I kind of feel like he should have just pushed the tier 2. You know, you already saw all 5 members from Sentinels. No one's responding to him. You're struggling to actually make anything happen in these like 5v5 standoffs. So I feel like if he was able to force someone to respond, then you can maybe group and try to make a play on the other side. But just wanted to base.
Yeah, maybe they need to invest in a little bit more like a warding pattern that would see the arrow come down. Maybe he's worried about like, oh, if I get hit by an arrow, then Impact can kill me. And then like the rest of the team still couldn't like rush Baron.
Yeah.
But that's pretty hard to do too. So
it is.
Honestly, FlyQuest, it is difficult at this point because you have so many things to work around that Sentinels had, but keep on pushing. They did get the Serelda's Grudge just completed now for Gakgos. So maybe that will make the poke more substantial and the slow can help out.
You can see Rahel now has his BT completed, which is going to make it that much more difficult to knock him down. Poke is going to matter a lot less, and obviously does have that Seraphine there to protect him. This time Massu landing a lot of poke there onto HamBak. Gets a good amount of damage out onto him. Nice sidestep there, but actually he's back into the root. Thankfully, he will be staying pretty healthy, and it's Aurora pushing topside, trying to force a response.
And look at the wards. He has so many wards here that could come in for teleports for the Aurora. One behind Raptors, one behind their own jungle. He's going for the Gromp ward.
Yep, he's going in very far behind them, and he hasn't been spotted just yet. HamBak getting low. Impact arrives with the TP shield, and here he comes, but he gets instantly Ashe arrowed. He does get into the Zonias. The Encore across everyone, though. Look at the damage coming in on Quad. He is sent running. It's all up to Massu. HamBak is trying to protect Rahel, but Gryffin flashes in on him, and down goes Rahel. And no matter how resilient they were, Sentinels cannot get it across the finish line in this one. They made FlyQuest work for it, but that flank from Quad is gonna seal the deal in game 2.
Woo! They destroyed it right there. FlyQuest gonna grab a win, push us to another one.
They're going to push on the base here. It's just up to these 2 members. Can they cut the wave? HamBak is not that tanky in the middle of 5. FlyQuest knock down the first Nexus Tower, knock down the second, and will push us to a Game 3 here against Sentinels. We are in for a treat.
Woo! Quad and Gryffin were really ripping in that last one. I like the move. No hesitation for FlyQuest. Immediately jump on them. You know, even with the Ashe arrow right in the face.